Tesla's ramp to 4 million units is exciting, but it's pretty misunderstood. Yeah, it's going to be 4 million, but the roadmap to 20 million is actually pretty clear in its own right. Let's talk about that instead. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla Weekend. Quick thanks to newest patrons, Doug Jesse, whose name I have spelled correctly this time, and Kevin at Great Circle Solutions, without whom this channel would not be possible, so I thank you for your decision to support the work we do. So there was a great article that said, 4 million, they can do it. We heard 4 million, it's going to be 4 million, which is wrong, because they're saying it's going to be 4 million total. We're already at 4 million. We can already see that. You see, Fremont is at 650,000, Shanghai is past 1 million, and Berlin and Texas, well, those are bigger than Shanghai, or at least about as big. So in Berlin, the Model Y can ramp to 1 million, and in Texas, it can also ramp to 1 million. Well, 1 million in Texas, 1 million in Berlin, 1 million in Shanghai, 650,000 in Fremont. That means the Cybertruck would only have to ramp to 350,000 units a year to get us to 4 million. No, the Mexican factory is not about getting us to 4 million. It's about getting to 4 million itself. See, Mexico is going to be twice the size of Texas, twice the size of Shanghai. And it's going to be building something a lot easier. If they were just building Model Ys, a factory twice the size could make twice as many. That's 2 million right there. But they're not building Model Ys. They're not building Model 3s. They're going to build the Compact. The Compact alone is going to be 4 million if batteries can keep up, which we'll cover in a minute. So 4 million in Texas plus the other 4 million. Well, that's 8 million right there. How can Mexico get to 4 million? Well, we already showed how it can get to 2, twice the size, but it's going to be using a simpler process. It's going to be making a smaller car, fewer atoms to move, it's quicker. It might not have a paint shop. Tom Ju answered the question, will there be paint, by saying paint is expensive. So maybe they have a easier, simpler, quicker way to paint, or maybe they're going to use one of the 3 methods I covered on an earlier video talking about how they can do it cheaper and without paint at all. The unboxed production method is going to make it super quick. It's going to move real fast. And because the batteries are smaller, maybe half the size, they can make twice as many without running out of batteries. It's going to use about 1/3 as many as a Cybertruck, probably. It's going to move real fast. So that gets us to 4 million, and another 4 million, that's 8 million. So let's talk about the roadmap beyond 10 million. Because you see, you can't do it. You can't get past 10, 11 million. And we know because it's never been done before. Well, a Cybertruck's never been built before, and technically I guess it still hasn't. But a lot of things Tesla's done has never been done before. You can't build an EV profitably. For most companies, that appears to still be true. You can't do it. Well, you can if you're doing things differently. So how do we get from 8 million up to 12, 20 million? We know the current production capacity is probably 4 million-ish. Add Mexico, that gets you to 8. Well, we know they're going to build 2 factories at the same time. They said so at Investor Day. Mexico will be built concurrently with another factory, as yet unannounced. That gets you to 12 million. Cybertruck, they're not aiming to make 350,000 a year. They're aiming to unseat the F-150. It could be another million a year. We'll say 850,000 to keep it round, 13 million. The unboxing method they're looking to perfect in Mexico will be rolled back to other factories. Shanghai will adopt this philosophy. Berlin, Texas, they'll all adopt it, and it will increase. And if you can get those 3 factories at about 1 million each, up by just 33%, that's a whole extra million. We're at 14 million, and we haven't talked about anything crazy yet. Well, Berlin has submitted permits to radically expand the footprint there. What's going in there? Are they going to build another compact car factory? They might. It might be vans or something else. But they're building something. Maybe it's a new sedan, a hatchback. We don't know. But whatever they build, it's going to be of the new unboxed philosophy. It's going to be at least the size of the current footprint, and it's going to be vastly more efficient. That's going to add another, what, million at least, maybe 2. We'll say 1 to be safe, 15 million. That's just with what we've already confirmed. To get from 15 million to 20 with factories like this, you only need 1 or 2. A 4 million factory might get you close. A pair of 2.5 million factories would get you there. You would get to 20 million. So what's going to stop us? What's going to make it not happen? Well, batteries, probably. I mean, if they can move all the way down to 25,000 for a new car, even 30,000 with incentives, my gosh, that's a no-brainer. If the car is competent, capable, fun, remotely cute, the demand will be about unlimited. Remember, they're not attacking the EV market share, they're attacking the automotive market share. It's the entire market. Can we get enough batteries by 2030 that Tesla could sell 20 million? Well, there's a couple things to consider. The newer vehicles are going to use smaller batteries. So right there, it improves. The amount of batteries you would put in 10 million cars can now service 20. The amount of batteries you would put in 7 million trucks can now serve 20. That's a help. High nickel concentrate batteries like the traditional lithium ions, the 2170s, the 18650s, those all use quite a bit of cobalt and nickel. Now, less than the competition, we believe, but those minerals take some time to bring online. They can get expensive, especially when there's huge demand. So those could be a bottleneck. But if you watch The Limiting Factor with Jordan Giesecke, he talks about the alternatives. LFP batteries have no nickel. They have no cobalt. They use lithium, iron, phosphorus, and the metal casing. That's it. There are no conflict materials. There are no materials in there that are not mostly abundant and readily available, unless you count lithium. But ramping lithium can be easier, but there's still room to grow past that. Sodium-ion batteries appear to be getting ready to enter the market at scale. These have lower energy density, but are expected to follow the same improvement trajectory we've seen from LFP and lithium-ion. So if the LFP batteries are getting better and cheaper and using common materials, that's a good thing. Those are not going to be competing for most of the same resources, and the sodium battery is going to compete with none of those things. It's all abundant materials. So what's going to happen is the cheapest cars in the world are going to be getting the sodium batteries, while LFP batteries are going to be used for higher drain applications, things like a Model 3 standard range, even a Model Y standard range, and they'll start moving up the scale. And the high nickel drain batteries that you think of when you think of an electric car, those will be moved to just the highest performance specs for things where you really need all the punch you can fit in. So what could happen is already lithium-ion batteries are no longer being put in megapacks and Powerwalls. They're just going to vehicles. Those have been replaced already with lithium iron phosphate. The LFP batteries are picking up that slack. What happens when sodium ion is commercialized to the point where you can use those in stationary storage as well? Well, that means those LFP batteries you were using can now go up a step to automotive and instead have enough to cover all those medium range applications, especially as they continue improving. There's a very good chance that we will have enough batteries due to a diversity of chemistries, due to improved efficiency in vehicles, due to lighter weight vehicles not requiring as much battery capacity, and it's all possible to work. So that's exciting stuff, and it's going to happen. So I guess my question for you is, what do you think about these numbers? Is it possible? Can Mexico do 4 million when fully ramped? Could they add another factory in Mexico? What are they going to build in Berlin? What did I miss? What did I misunderstand? Leave it all in them comments below. Big thanks to my patrons, as always, who get early access, bonus content. You know the deal. They are the reason I'm able to keep the channel going. And if I look at my year-to-date stats, only about 27% of my revenue has come from YouTube. not ideal. I appreciate it all either way. So stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots on the flippity flop.